Hello, guys. Miss Mullis here. Can't believe we're starting our last full week of online learning. So it's unbelievable that this will be our last full week, and you guys are almost third graders. I will be doing the reading lesson again this week. And to get us started, if you haven't already, according to our weekly expectations document that we always put online for you, you should have watched the Cinderella classic Disney tale that's posted as a link. If you have not had an opportunity to do that yet, go ahead and stop this video, hop over to that other app, watch the classic Cinderella, and then come back to my video. Okay, so I bet some of you are already noticing behind me, you see something that we've worked with before. We are looking at a double bubble. So we are going to be looking at two versions of Cinderella. The classic version that hopefully, as I said, you have just had an opportunity to view and enjoy. Or we're also going to look at a version from a different country. We're going to look at the Cinderella story from China. And her name is Ye-Shen. All right, so we're going to go ahead now and share our screen. And I want everyone to take just a minute, okay, to get logged on to your Clever page for your homeroom. And once again, if you did not listen to, I actually found a video of someone reading it to you, to the classic Cinderella, the version that I grew up with, your parents grew up with, and most of you have probably read, or there's probably some of you that have actually seen the Disney movie of Cinderella, the classic. You have not had an opportunity to do that first. Okay, so now we're going to take a step back from the classic Cinderella that we are familiar with here in America, and we're going to look at the Chinese version. Believe it or not, there's hundreds and hundreds of versions of Cinderella out there. And the one that we're going to be looking at is in our reading textbook. So on your Clever page, your teacher should have sent you a link to Ye-Shen. And if you'll click that, you're going to see our reading textbook come up. Some of the last stories in our book for the year. Okay, and we're going to go up here to the top. Remember, if you click there, you'll see the page. And we're going to type in 457 in the yellow box. Click that orange arrow. And here we are on the title page. So you'll notice right away that you can tell that this isn't our typical Cinderella like we picture here in America. She has the long dark hair. The setting is different, okay? But it is a version from China. So right now, I'm going to give you an opportunity to, you can read Ye-Shen or you can have it read to you. And then as you finish, we'll come back together and we will look at our double bubble and the assignment that I'm giving you. Okay, I'm going to adjust the volume here in case you decide that you do want to listen. All right, so here we go. Now remember, if you haven't used the textbook in a while, if you feel uncomfortable trying to read these pages with some of the Chinese words, all you have to do is click on the sound bubble up at the top and it will read it to you. Okay, so remember, as we're reading through this version, I want you to be thinking about ways that Ye-Shen, okay, and Cinderella are alike in a ways that they're different. For example, right away, we notice that she does have an evil stepmother, but there's a difference because instead of having two evil stepsisters, as our Cinderella has, she only has one. Okay. They do give her lots of work to do in both versions, though, don't they? Keep that in mind for your double bubble. Okay, definitely some evidence there that her stepmother is very cruel and does not want her to be happy. Okay, as you're reading and looking for those similarities and those differences, one thing that really got my attention on this particular page is instead of a ball dance held at a palace, it's just a festival, a spring festival that they would have each year where all the young men and women could meet and hopefully fall in love. Okay, a lot of differences there if we're paying attention carefully. Okay, so I hope you guys enjoyed that story. And now we're going to go back to our double bubble. So if you'll notice here, I'm using my window shade as a smart board. I created a double bubble comparing Cinderella and Ye-Shen. And I apologize that it's a little blurry, but I will tell you what I have written in the bubbles. So if you remember when we do a double bubble to compare two characters, the way that they are alike always goes in the middle, okay? So I have written in one way that they were alike. They both became a princess, okay? In different ways, but they both became a princess. Now, I know we've always told you before not to draw your bubbles till you've written your words, but the reason I did this is just to show you how many we want you to add. So whether you're doing this on notebook paper or your journal, drawing paper, whatever, I'm showing you how many bubbles to have before you take a picture and turn that into your homeroom teacher. So you only need to come up with 2 more ways that the princesses are alike. Okay, now remember when we do a double bubble, okay, on the outer sides of the map is where we put the ways that they are different. Notice I've modeled 2 that we'll talk about in just a second, but I've also added 1, 2, 3, There we go. See that a little bit better. 3 that you need to come up with on your own about what makes Cinderella different than Ye-Shen. All right. So always try to make sure that your bubbles match up as I have modeled here. So in our classic Cinderella that we enjoyed having read to us today, Cinderella's friends were mice, okay, in the classic version. In Ye-Shen, however, she only had one friend, and her friend was a fish, okay? So that is one way that I noted that they are different. Another thing that I did from back towards the beginning of the story is I mentioned who showed up to help our future princesses. So I put for Cinderella, she was comforted by her fairy godmother. So it was her fairy godmother that showed up to help her. Ye-Shen wasn't a fairy godmother, was it? She was comforted by an old man. But we have to remember that that old man told her what to do with her friend the fish's bones so that she would be taken care of as well. So take a minute if you need to revisit stories. Just make sure you do create a double bubble and make sure that you have 3 ways our princesses are alike, 5 ways that they're different. And you are allowed to use mine if you would like, and then just come up with a few on your own. So have fun with this. Make sure you take a picture and send it to your homeroom teacher, and I will see you for tomorrow's reading lesson. Bye-bye.